Take a look at this chart. The line climbing upward represents the highest number of college degrees ever awarded to a single generation, while the line crashing downward tracks the plunging employment rate for those exact same graduates. Today's young adults are the most educated demographic in history, yet they currently make up the highest share of the unemployed in nearly 40 years. The math is bleak. Recent data shows that only 30% of new graduates are actually securing full-time jobs in their specific field of study. Instead of confronting the math, society relies on a familiar script. Young workers are dismissed as lazy, entitled, or part of a trophy generation that expects everything on a silver platter. But blaming the youth is an ancient reflex. Even Plato recorded older generations complaining that young people were becoming lazy and disrespectful. While the lazy narrative is easy to sell, 98% of HR leaders admit they struggle to find talent, even as they overlook the very candidates ready to fill the roles. This suggests the issue lies less with individual work ethic and more with the changing nature of the entry-level job itself. Historically, junior roles served a specific structural purpose. They provided a baseline environment where young workers could learn necessary technology and absorb corporate culture through osmosis. You sat in meetings with senior leadership, took notes, and observed how the business actually functioned. This career ladder is being dismantled from the bottom up. When the starting point of a professional journey is erased, the climb stops before it even begins. To justify gutting these junior roles, 1/3 of major employers point to artificial intelligence. They claim automation is replacing the need for human entry-level work, a narrative that conveniently inflates investor confidence and boosts short-term stock prices. There is a massive flaw in this corporate strategy. Evidence shows that AI is nowhere near ready to automate the job market. In fact, research indicates that 95% of generative AI pilots at these companies are failing, frequently forcing them to rehire the exact humans they laid off. Look at this corporate structure. Eliminating junior roles destroys the training ground for middle management. The center hollows out, leaving an isolated executive peak. They enjoy bonuses now, but when they retire, no one is trained to replace them. For the young workers left on the outside, this creates an impossible barrier. Currently, 61% of so-called full-time entry-level positions demand 3 to 5 years of prior experience. And who's filling those roles? 2/3 of them go to older, overqualified workers who have been forced downward by decades of career and wage stagnation. Entry-level pay no longer corresponds to entry-level experience. It is a structural trap, forcing 22-year-olds into an unwinnable bidding war against desperate industry veterans. When young people realize the corporate door is locked, they often take lower-wage survival jobs just to pay the bills. But in today's digital hiring landscape, that survival tactic can damage their long-term professional credibility. Hiring managers frequently invent negative stories about employment gaps, while applicant tracking systems and major networking platforms automatically suppress the profiles of people working as grocery clerks or servers. To the algorithms, these jobs signal a lower economic class, rendering the applicant invisible. Facing this impenetrable white-collar wall, society offers one loud collective piece of advice: go into the trades. While vocational work is an excellent path for many, the math does not support it as a generational cure-all. The blue-collar sector cannot physically absorb an entire demographic of displaced white-collar workers without creating the exact same bottlenecks seen in the corporate world. Many trade industries are already dealing with their own economic downturns. Newcomers without established industry connections or years of prior experience are finding it difficult to secure a job at all. There are no easy escape hatches here. When you spend months sending out resumes, signing petitions, and showing up to vote, only to receive absolute silence, apathy feels like a logical defense mechanism. This constant, unyielding friction is why Gen Z is increasingly described as a nihilistic generation. But surrendering to that apathy carries a massive future cost. If we accept this environment as the permanent norm, the next generation will inherit a system even more broken than this one, and they will want to know why we didn't do more to stop it. Giving up might be understandable, but doing so only protects the executives and the systems currently profiting from the decay. Countering this system requires a shift toward radical self-reliance. approaching a career with a specific strategy that doesn't depend on any single corporate path. Consider a different architecture for your life. By building multiple streams of income, you create a diversified support system. This ensures that you are never held hostage by a single paycheck or at the mercy of a single employer's whims. From that position of stability, we can push for collective agency. That means having real conversations with your neighbors, exploring modern forms of unionization, and demanding that policymakers prioritize human workers over automated margins. Because this generation is the first to experience these flaws so acutely, they possess the perspective needed to advocate for systemic course correction. By choosing independence over apathy and demanding human-centered policy, this generation is positioned to design the economic architecture of the next decade.